Ever since I was a kid, I had always wanted to have my own house one day. I have four siblings, all girls, and they were always so loud. They were either fighting over who takes a shower first or who took whose makeup and where so and so's charger went. The point I'm trying to make is they always had something to fight about. I wished so hard that my mom would have another boy, but I guess I didn't wish hard enough. Just the idea of a quiet house for me was heaven. When I turned 18, I was finally old enough to move out, and I was so excited. Having a house all to myself makes me laugh, because it was too hard to believe. I moved into this small apartment a couple months ago, and the first 2 months were amazing. There was no yelling sisters, no running around the house, and best of all, there was no line for the bathroom. Everything in this apartment was mine, and I wasn't going to put it to waste. My friends came over a lot to see my apartment, and they all said it was tiny, but I didn't care. It was my house, and it was big enough for me. Everything was going so well until 3 months ago. I don't know why or how, but I've been hearing things coming from my apartment, whether it's things shifting around or just tiny things being out of place. My things were never in the place I left them last. I tried setting it aside, telling myself that I probably moved that myself and just forgot. Or, I've always had a bad memory, so I just likely moved that. I always tried to convince myself that it was me moving the things, but it got so bad that I couldn't blame myself anymore. One night, while I was about to go to bed, I heard a noise coming from my living room. I quickly got up to look, but didn't see anything. I shook my head and went back to my room, making sure I shut the door behind me, and laid back down. I couldn't fall asleep, so I just stared at the roof, hoping it would be enough for me to pass out. After looking at the roof for a good 30 minutes, I finally passed out. I got up in the morning with the biggest migraine. I went onto my phone to send my daily good morning text, and that's when I saw it. When I opened my phone, I was on the Photos app. I don't remember coming on here, I said to myself. I go through my gallery, and there, I see a photo I don't remember taking. There was a photo of me sleeping. I live alone. I know I live alone. So why is there a photo of me sleeping? I jump out of bed and scan my room just to find no one in sight. I call my mom and quickly tell her what I just saw. She got into her car as quick as she could and drove to my apartment. I packed all I needed and got in my car and drove back to her house. I was not going to take my chances and stay in the house any longer. There could have been someone in my house, and who knows what they could have done to me. We finally arrived to my childhood home, and I went inside to unpack. When I was in the car with my mom, I had already called the police and filled them in on the situation. Later that day, I got a call from the police station. I was told to come down, and so I did. When I got there, I saw a man in handcuffs glaring at me. I turned to go to the front desk. "I was called here?" I said to the lady at the front desk. "Yes, we wanted to tell you that we found the person whom was in your house." I was shocked. After hearing all those things moving in my house, I needed to see who it was that was coming into my apartment every night. She walked me over to the man. "This man right here," she says. I look at him. "This is the man who has been coming to my apartment every night?" I stare at him. "More like living," she sighs. "We found him in your walls. There was a little door that we almost didn't catch, and there we found him, sleeping." I could not believe what I was hearing. The man in front of me was living with me, and I didn't even know. "How long has he been there?" I say to the lady. "About 6 months." I was speechless. I've been living in there for almost 5 months. That means that there has been a man living with me this whole time. I didn't want to hear any more, so I leave the police station and go back to my mom's house. Ever since that day, I never wanted to live by myself, ever again. In the dead of night, Mary laid wide awake in her bed. Silence wrapped around her, broken only by the ticking clock on the wall. Suddenly, a noise shattered the quiet, like a door being forced open. Panic flooded in her veins as she realized someone was breaking in her house. She hid under the covers, heart pounding like a drum. The intruder's footsteps echoed through the hallway, growing closer and closer. Sweat dripped down from her forehead as she prayed they wouldn't find her. The sound of crashing objects sent chills down her spine, and she felt a rush of fear like never before. With trembling hands, Mary dialed the police, her voice shaky as she whispered for help. Time dragged on as she waited, each second stretching out endlessly. The intruders' movements grew louder, their presence lurking in the darkness just outside the door. Finally, the police sirens blared, lights flashing through a window. The intruder fled into the night, disappearing like a shadow. Relief washed over Mary, but the terror of the break-in would forever haunt her. A chilling reminder that safety can be shattered in an instant. One summer afternoon, my friends and I decided to explore an abandoned building rumored to be haunted. The place was a dilapidated mess, its broken windows and crumbling walls giving an eerie ambience. We ventured inside with a mix of excitement and apprehension. As we cautiously navigated the decaying hallways, the air grew heavy with a sense of desolation. The only sound was the echo of our own footsteps, each step a reminder of the eerie silence that enveloped the place. Dust particles danced in the dim light, casting eerie shadows on the wall. Then, a sudden noise shattered the stillness, like a distant whisper. We froze, exchanging nervous glances. Fear gripped my heart as I realized we were not alone. Someone else was in the building with us. Panic surged through my veins, urging us to flee, but curiosity compelled us to investigate further. We followed the sound, our heartbeats pounding in our ears. The narrow hallway led us to a door that was slightly ajar. With trepidation, we pushed it open, revealing a sight that chilled us to the core. A pair of eyes, filled with malice, stared back at us from the darkness. In a moment of sheer terror, we turned and ran, our footsteps echoing like a chorus of panic. Adrenaline fueled our escape as we raced through the crumbling corridors, desperate to put as much distance as possible between us and the unknown intruder. We burst out the building, gasping for breath, grateful to be back in the safety of the daylight. The encounter left an incredible mark on us, a chilling reminder that sometimes the darkness hides more than just shadows.